morning, everyone, and happy Friday morning. So today we are making 3 arrangements for a dinner rehearsal. These are going to be some centerpieces to go on the table. And I have 2 different color palettes now. My customer loves hydrangeas and she really wanted all blue, but unfortunately I only have one humongous bloom head. The rest were not quite ready to pick for my front hydrangea bush. So we're going to do 2 different color palettes. So I'm going to have a blue, white, and cream where I'm going to have some white hydrangeas, my huge blue one, and then I have some white dahlias, some lisianthus, and zinnias that we will be popping in. And then the other 2 are going to go on her patio tables. So I am going to be doing like a blush and pinks, and I have some of my chartreuse hydrangeas. So I'm going to try and have those 2 match up. So we're going to have the chartreuse hydrangeas in those, and then I have my cafe au laits, I have my bucket of lisianthus, and then I have some zinnias. Anything that is going to be in that like pinky colorway we are going to use, and then whatever I don't use will be used for my roadside flower stand tomorrow. So of course Gizmo is after my hydrangea leaves right now. I'm starting a lot later than I was wanting to because I was waiting for some floral tape to come in so I can make a little grid for the one hydrangea arrangement where it has like the big blue and white ones, just because I don't want them flopping all over the place. So I'm going to try and grid out the top of that vase. And my little guy is waking up. I am trying to push him to sleep past 5:30, but I don't think that's going to happen today. So between him and Gizmo, speaking of, we are going to hopefully get these done in a few hours. She's not picking them up till later this afternoon, so I'm not really worried about timing. It's just more about focus. So I am going to move Gizmo into the bathroom while I get my little one if he's up, and we will get started with the blue and white hydrangea first. So I'm a little nervous. Hopefully they go well, but I do have some nice zinnias. I did get some spray mums, and then I had to source some white ones because all of mine have turned color and I don't have any white left. But I do have a huge blue one, which I was so happy about. I had about 4 more stems on that same bush, but they're just not quite there yet. And I also have my cafe au laits. I have 2 blizzard dahlias, I want to say, and then I also picked some smaller ones that were a little bit more like white or off-white with like a pink center hue. Oh, and then I did source some roses as well, just so that way I could have a little bit more romance in there, so it's not just all garden flowers. I mean, lisianthus are amazing, but I don't want to use too many of those because I want to save those. These are going to be basically the last of my lisianthus for the year. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to see if they can do a second flush. I'm not sure if we have the time for those. So I did purchase some buckwheat where I will be cover cropping if I choose to pull them. So let's get started. Here are the zinnias that we will be working with, the white hydrangeas and spray mums. And then I also have some pink and white roses, all of the gorgeous lisianthus that I pulled from my garden. And then we have our cafe au lait dahlias, some of the blizzard, and then I also have a few that have some white and pink hues to it. And then we have our chartreuse hydrangeas, and then there is one big blue one that we will be using, and of course Gizmo is after the leaves. So this is what we are going to be working with today. All right, so I am going to grid the top of this because it is very wide up here and I don't want my hydrangeas flopping. Okay, so we're going to start with our white ones, which I cut down and did a good job, and I'm going to put 2 more on the other side, and I'll put the big blue one in the center. So these will act as like a nice support for them. And I do like to split mine up the middle so that way it can help absorb some more water. have our whites as my base, and then I'm going to plop the blue one in the middle, and then we'll have our dahlias and our roses on the sides. So I'm trying to think I want the leaves or not, because I have like no greenery. My intention was to get some eucalyptus, but I did not have time to run out and find any. This one. This one might have to be a bit shorter. There we go. All right, great. So this is going to be my base. So we're gonna add now to this, I'm gonna put some spray mums in, maybe on the sides to cover these little spots. And then I have zinnias and some roses, and I have some of my blizzard dahlias that we will put in as well. Perfect. All right, so I am just going to time lapse this, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So I am taking these roses and I'm spinning them, whoops, upside down to try and open them up a little bit more. I took these out of the fridge, so then that way they would hopefully open. The good thing is when you do event work, all you need it to do is look good for one day. But I peeled all of the petals off, the guard petals the other day, put them in some flower food so they would start opening up, and then I left them in my basement instead of out of the fridge so they hopefully would open up. And I'm gonna pop them in between each one. And then hopefully they will tuck in nicely. I'm gonna make it a little shorter. I love this vase, but because it's so narrow at the top and wide, it's a little tricky to get them all in there. Oh, and then that one looks a little damaged. I'm gonna just take that one out. All right, I'm gonna do another one, and then I'm gonna put some other zinnias and stuff all around. So again, a bunch of these. I'm gonna take it, turn it upside down, whoops, and then there we go. Open it up. And my hands are shaking. I had too much coffee this morning. All right, we have one down. All right, we have number one. I might put something here to help fill in that gap, and I might get some eucalyptus from my backyard. But other than that, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm pretty pleased with it. I feel like that is a nice, I don't want to cover up too much of the blue. I was gonna put my Chinese forget-me-nots, but I think they're a little bit too spent, so I don't want them giving out. But I do have some extra roses, so I might add to this after, but I think for now it looks great with some little pops of zinnias. We have our blizzard dahlia, which I'm gonna make sure that I take as many cuttings as I can, a couple Lizzies in there. So we'll see if I add anything else afterwards. But now we are moving on to our next one, and I'm envisioning it in my head, and I hope that it comes out how I want, because again, really wanted blue and white, but we are going with chartreuse and pink, so that will be a nice surprise. So let's see how the next one does. So I envisioned having a smaller one in the middle, and then having 3 around it, and then having 3 smaller ones. So then I can sit some cafe au laits on the top and some zinnias, and then it will really balance out like the little bits of pink in there. So I'm hoping I did cut enough, but I'm hoping it will stay kind of like this, where it's like a triangle and then one in the center. And then, as I said, I have some smaller ones I'll pop out. So these ones will be a lot fuller. But I love hydrangeas. I really need to invest and get some more of the pinnacle ones, because you can use them at white, this, and dried, which there probably won't be any left to dry. So I'm gonna pop these in, and again, I did quick dip for them just to help them last a little bit longer. So let's see how this balances out. And then we can put our cafe au laits, and then I do have some smaller dahlias that we can get in, and some zinnias. So I want these to be a little bit fuller, and I do have some roses left over as well. And here are the 2 arrangements. I'm so happy with them. I hope that my client is too, because it is going to be a different color palette than she wanted. She really wanted something like this with some blues and whites, because that is going to be the colors that her daughter is using in her wedding. But I'm very happy with how they turned out. That top rose though, that is poking out right there, I actually cut it a little bit shorter and pushed it down more. And same with the blizzard dahlias. And then this is going to be the cafe au laits with the pinks and the chartreuse. I absolutely love them. I used all of my cafe au laits this weekend on these arrangements. And then I don't know if you noticed, but one of them wasn't quite opened. So I did still cut it, and I added it in and just told her she could use it as the back. but I just love how everything came together between the linen and the ballerina zinnias with the celosia from Floret. I have my lisianthus, and then we also have the roses. They complement the cafe au lait so well because they come in all these different color tones as the season goes on. So here they are again. I'm again very happy I was able to have enough of the same amount of flowers so they could be identical. And then I did actually pop in a couple of more zinnias in some of the spots afterwards, but again, very happy with how they came out. So here is going to be the 3 arrangements that I used. So I hope you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different. So if you would like to stay tuned, please make sure you hit like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I will see you all next time. Happy gardening. Bye.